Hello, we're going to be making this animation of flying keys. I'll walk with you step by step through the entire process. First, we're going to model the keys, then we're going to texture them, add in the wings, add in the wing animation, and then we'll set up a basic scene with one key flying through it and the camera tracking it. Alright, so just follow these steps and you'll be able to make this scene yourself. Alright, first follow the link in the description of this video and you'll be taken to my website. Here you can find the files you'll need to work on this project. The first files you'll need are right here. I include the completely finished scene that we'll make in this video, and I also include the more complicated scene that you see in the animation at the beginning, and I include, there's a reference image for modeling the keys, and then there's a high resolution still image just as a bonus. So go ahead and download these files, and then you'll also need to follow this HDR image link. It'll take you to this website where you can download this file right here. And once you have that, we can get going. Alright, I'm in Blender now. I'm going to hit A twice, select everything in the scene, X, and delete. Hit N to bring up my right panel here. I'm going to expand these background images, add image, and I'm going to hit open. I'm going to go to the folder that's got my reference image in it. And then I'm going to hit 7 to go to my top view, 5 to go into orthographic mode, and you can see we've got our background image here. I'm going to go ahead and bring the opacity all the way up to 1 so we can see what we're doing. I'm going to hit Shift A, add in the new cube to the scene, Z to go into wireframe mode, hit G, move it over. We're going to start with this little bit simpler key, hit S, scale it down, get it about right. Okay. Go over to this right panel where the wrench is, add modifier, and subdivision surface. I'm going to bring it up to 2. I'm going to actually go ahead and scale this up a little bit larger. You're right about there. That's good enough. Alright, tab in the edit mode, A to deselect, B box select. I'm going to get these top vertices and I'm going to bring it right up to here. I'm going to hit E for extrude and S immediately, bring that out. E, bring it up right here. Hit E for extrude, S for scale, bring it in. E for extrude, and E and S. Just following this process all the way up the key. E for extrude, ES, bring it in. E, bring it up. ES, E, bring it up, ES, bring it in, E to finish out the top part. Alright, I'm going to hit Tab and Z just to see what we're looking at. So we're back in object mode. I'm going to go and hit ahead and hit Smooth here. Alright, so that's looking about right. Hit 7 to go back into my top view, Tab to go back into edit mode. Z to go into wireframe, A to deselect those, hit B, and we'll start working on the bottom of this key here. Alright, so really all we're going to have to do is extrude out a little bit and then scale this in. Alright, so that's the base of this one finished already. Alright, for the top part we're just going to add in a simple torus. So I'm going to hit Shift A, add in Torus, G, bring it over here. I'm going to hit Smooth Shading, and we're also going to add a subdivision surface to this one. Might be fine just leaving it at 1. Alright, I'm going to hit Scale to get this to match up a little bit more closely. Now this time I'm going to hit S and Y to scale just on the Y. I hit Z so I can see my wireframe. Bring this up a little bit. Hit S and Y again. Okay, that's about right. I'm going to do S and X this time. Bring it in here. And that matches up pretty nicely. Hit Shift Z, and I'm just going to, okay, so we need to also scale on the Z axis. So I'm going to hit S and Z and get this to match up a little better with the shape of the key. Alright, I'm going to hit 7 to go back in top view, and yeah, that looks about right. It's not exactly the same, but it's what we're going for. Alright, now we just got to do the bottom of the key. I'm going to hit Shift A, Mesh, Cube, hit Z to go into wireframe mode, G to bring it down here. I'll scale this down. Alright. Alright, so for the bottom of this key, I'm going to tap into edit mode, hit A to deselect those, B to select these. We'll bring it all the way to the edge here. We're just going to add a few loop cuts to give us some more geometry to work with. It's not a really smooth curve, it's pretty crude, so just a few will be enough to give us just a little bit more detail here. There's also this curve over here that we'd like to keep, so let me add a few more here. A to deselect those vertices. I'm going to hit B, select this very last one, bring that in. B to select these, bring that down a bit. Alright, A to deselect those. Now we're going to start following this curve. B, I'm going to select these. A to deselect, B to select, A to deselect, B, maybe I'll move this one over a little bit. Actually, let's go back. That'll be good enough. Let me tab back out, hit Z. Okay, so one problem is it's going through the key, so let's scale, hit S and Z. This way we can make sure it's about the right size. Alright, so that looks good for that key.